Hey everyone, this is Corine Lafont, your favorite radio host, your only radio host, and favorite girl, of course, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. And you know how we do it here on Between the Lines, always with gratitude, or as some people will say, thankfulness. And I like to always start my show off with that because that's the way I live. That's the way I live. It's a beautiful day here in Trinidad and Tobago. It's sunny. It's a bit overcast, but I'm happy with it. I'm here to be able to witness it. That's the important thing. I'm here to be able to witness it. And we're coming to the close of a year, and I'm super excited. I just hope to be able to experience that and also witness that, and I wish that for everyone who listening is here with us or will be watching the replay. And I have with me Tom Paladino, and I hope I pronounced his name correctly. I normally ask my guests these things before time, but we were chatting away off air. Okay, so let me let me tell you a bit about Tom, and what we're talking about today is scalar light. Scalar light, the what and its benefits. Now, I know nothing about this topic, but I can tell you by the end of this episode, I will be an expert. Okay, and let me tell you a bit about Tom, and we will go straight into the conversation. So, Tom Paladino is a researcher and humanitarian seeking to make a difference in the world by providing people with the education and tools to restore optimal health and by helping enhance their quality of life. Be prepared, people, for the things you're going to be hearing and learning today. I know I'm open to learning. Keep an open mind. Don't close off yourself to anything. Welcome, Tom, to Between the Lines.
Thank you for a gracious offer. Thank you to speak to your audience. Happy New Year to
Yes,
everybody.
yes. Tom, scalar light. The only light I know is a light in the bathroom, the bulb, the light from my phone, the light in the sky, typical everyday traditional light. All right. I use the microwave. There is light in there, just the everyday light. So let us go straight into scalar light. What is it? Because before we go into the benefits, let's understand what we are dealing with here, and then we will go straight into that. And in between, understand why you are into scalar light.
Yes. Corinne, you and the audience, you're experts in scalar energy, scalar light. It's sunlight. It's
Is
the
it?
light of the sun. It initiates from the sun, the stars. So I have an instrument, I have scalar light instruments that
Mhm.
capture sunlight. Now, this is not electricity, it's a different
Why are
type
you
of energy.
stealing the sun? You're stealing the sun, Tom.
There you go. There you go.
You're
I have a
admitting.
yes, I'm stealing the sun energy. I have a miniature sun. I have a miniature star. You're right.
That's why when I looked in the sky, I noticed a few things missing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm the culprit.
I'm glad
I'm
you
the
admit it.
culprit.
Thank you so much for being honest.
Yeah, I'm the culprit.
Okay, okay. So when I see a few more missing, I know it's you. I'll be like, Tom.
So what's the point here? This is technology. We're using electricity now in our homes, which is one form of power generation. I propose that we use another type of power, scalar energy, which can do so much more and is much more efficient than that of electricity. So this is going to be a topic that we will discuss how scalar energy is applicable now. The technology exists and how I'm using scalar energy to improve human health. And eventually I'll be able to use scalar energy to power our home.
No, 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 Tom. No, no, Tom. What happened to wind, water, and all the other things?
Right?
They had solar power heating on our houses, those
Yes.
type of things.
Yes.
Solar driven cars, solar, for your watch, all these things. Why are you trying to throw a pebble in the water? Why are you stirring things up? First, you're
Yeah.
stealing stars on the sun. We're missing it in the sky and at night. Now you're coming to say you changing the world with that type of energy. No, 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 no,
I believe this technology someday will be embraced. And it's much easier to use than nuclear, solar, wind powered, wind turbines. And it's inexpensive. It's free. It's from the stars. It's free energy.
They didn't charge you for it.
Right. It's free. It's from God. And there's no pollution. There's no drawback. So, I'm not opposed to people and their means of conservation. I think that's wonderful, and their means to find alternative energy sources. But I'm saying that probably the best energy source will be scalar energy. But we'll get to that in the years to come. This is a process, and we have to take those steps right now.
So scalar is coming from, as you say, the sun, which is solar.
Yes.
It's a particular energy that extracted from the sun and from the stars. So how do you capture that to be able to use it for mankind, for health, for better, I call it a better quality of life.
Yes.
And why you of all people? Why?
Yeah, you're right. It's a better quality of life. You that's rather poignant. And what's the point here? Scalar energy is everywhere. It's from the sun and the stars, so it floods the universe. The universe is flooded with scalar energy, so to speak. And I have a scalar energy instrument that can harness that star energy. And then once we harness that energy, we can do so many things, extraordinary things with scalar energy that you cannot achieve with electricity or magnetism. So it's much more versatile than electricity or magnetism. And that's why I want to present my research to the audience today. And I want people to see the merit of this new technology.
Go ahead, go right into it. I'm intrigued. I want to learn. I want you to condense it, make it layman terms. Don't talk no high tech, wooey. Get straight to it, because we're moving into 2022, Tom.
Yes,
and we need to be more efficient, as we learned from the past 2 years of the pandemic. We don't know what's happening with that. We need to become more efficient in our operations, in our way of life, even, the way we take care of ourselves and our families.
Right. So that's a good point. No, point well taken. So to put this into context, I have scalar energy instruments that control sunlight and starlight. And some of the functions, some of the benefits of these instruments, I'm able to balance the brain waves, or what some people might call the meridians. Everybody has certain meridians. I'm able to broadcast nutrients, vitamins, and minerals with these instruments. These instruments will actually create micronutrients. So we can use this to fortify our body with nutrients. These instruments also have the ability to break down microbes, viruses, bacteria, fungi.
Stop there, Tom. I'm watching and listening to you carefully. First, you're stealing stars on the sun. You're bringing something new instead of solar and water energy. And now you're attacking pharmaceuticals. You're talking about nutrients. That means we're going to be healthier. We wouldn't have a need for pharmaceutical stuff. We wouldn't be living on these things. Tom, what you're doing.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a new way of living. It's a technology like none other. And many times when a new technology comes in, it makes obsolete the existing technology. And you will see that scalar energy will make obsolete much of the existing military industrial complex.
Wow, keep going, Tom. I'm eager to learn more about this and how it can help in a practical sense. Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to offer everybody free sessions. Our website has free sessions. But before I get into that, let me explain. No matter where you live in the world, obviously you live in the Caribbean, Corine.
Right.
I live in the United States. I can work with people by way of their photograph.
Okay.
A scalar energy instrument works like a cell phone or like a satellite. If we can have a conversation by way of a cell phone, obviously you're not inside my cell phone and I'm not in your cell phone either.
Right.
It's a transmission of energy, so to speak, a signal. When I work with people around the world, I work with photographs of people. This is an indication. People will email me their photograph. I actually print out a photograph, a collage of photographs, and I place a collage of photographs inside my instrument. So my instrument only works with emailed photographs of people around the world. So regardless of where you live, we can work through your force field on your photograph. Right? And what do we do with your photograph? Well, we balance the brain waves. We can send nutrients into your photograph, vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. Or we can break down viruses, bacteria, parasites that are found on your photograph. So if you can send a signal by way of a cell phone or a TV or a GPS unit, you can also send a signal by way of a photograph. So
that's a bit beyond me right now. That's a bit beyond me.
That's the new technology. Now, let's face it, 100 years ago, if you told somebody that you could speak into this instrument and you could have a conversation with somebody thousands of kilometers away, that'd be tough for people to understand.
Only on Star Trek. Only on Star Trek, Captain Kirk had one of those.
This is the new technology of scalar energy, in which we don't use satellite dishes or cell phones. We use photographs that are sources of light. My cell phone is a source of light. A photograph is the source of light. And my instrument can pick out, say, anybody in the Caribbean or anywhere in the world by way of their photograph and send energy to them by way of their photograph.
Give us a practical example, Tom, of how that has worked for one or some of your clients.
How does that help? Well, people from around the world will send me their photograph. They don't come to me. I only work with their photograph. And many people say, Tom, I have the herpes virus. Okay. So after I work with them, I'm able to detect on their photograph that the herpes virus has been destroyed. In my laboratory, I can detect the destruction of the herpes virus by way of a person's photograph. And then the person will come to me a month or two later and say, I feel great. Subsequently, some of those people have a test result. And the test result always comes back negative, no viral load for herpes. So everybody that I've worked with around the world for the herpes virus, if they've gone on to have a test result, the test result is negative. There's no viral load.
So what I'm trying to understand, I send you my photo. You put it through this machine.
Yes.
I guess it scans.
Yes.
But what happens then? I'm trying to see the connection between the scanning. What do you see? How is that connected to me being thousands of miles away from you?
Sure.
Do I feel the effects? What happens?
Some people feel the effects. It's very subtle. Some people feel the effects. So if I can send instructions by way of a cell phone, then I can send instructions by way of a photograph. I can balance the brain waves by way of a photograph. I can break apart microbes, germs by way of a photograph. I can assemble nutrients by way of a photograph. So everything that we could do in person, now we can do by way of a photograph.
It's non-intrusive.
Yes.
It's non-intrusive. And you don't have to go under surgery. You don't have to, you know. Yeah. And it saves you, I think, a lot too, in terms of traveling. Most people might travel for health and things like that. But it's still seen, because it's it's new to me. And persons who are listening or who will be listening, it will be new to them. So they're still trying to grapple with the idea of what exactly is happening just from a photograph. Because if this exists now, or you have discovered this now, why wasn't it discovered before? Why somebody didn't pick up on this and use this before? Why are they pushing another agenda? And how did you discover it to push it? And what's the response you're getting? I know it's a loaded question.
They're good questions. I'm doing this for God's glory and to help people. My predecessor was an inventor by the name of Galen Hieronymus, and much of my work stems from his work over 100 years ago. Why does a photograph work? It's the same reason why a cell phone works. A cell phone can transfer energy. A photograph can represent a person and accept energy. Now, what is a photograph? A photograph is your copy. I'll use my photograph. My photograph is my energetic copy. My photograph is me.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter where I am in the world, my instrument can find myself by way of my photograph, just as your phone number can find your cell phone no matter where the cell phone is. So if we can find a cell phone no matter where the cell phone is in the world, then we can find you by way of your photograph. Your photograph becomes the
But
satellite.
that's a still thing. That's a 2D flat
It is still,
image.
but it's alive. Corinne, it's alive with energy. The light is alive. Everybody's photograph is alive with energy. That's the new science. This is what I've discovered. That a photograph is your double, is my double. It's our energetic copy. And because we have the light of God, we are alive.
I don't disagree with that at all. I believe in energy, even when you die physically. I mean, I think they've even done tests or science or whatever they have done, and they see the vibration of the energy around you, even though your body may have died. It is still there.
You're right. We have an energy field, and it's
Yes,
a
we are
scalar energy
energy.
field. This is a
Yeah.
new science. And as we learn more, I will uncover more.
Of course.
This is not being done by any other party in the world. Why? They don't have my instruments. If you don't have my instruments, you cannot achieve the results I'm achieving. So you need the instrument. You
So
need the
how
technology.
so you created the instrument? How did you come
Yes.
upon the instrument?
I
What?
work with a brilliant engineer, and we've studied Nikola Tesla and a great scientist, and another man by the name of Galen Hieronymus. These are custom-built scalar energy instruments. This is a new class, so to speak, of scalar energy instrument. It's a new and emerging science. And how did we come up with this? How did I discover this? The same way Tesla and Hieronymus, by God's help. This is a science that is
As
not taught.
usual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is not
yeah,
taught in academia.
yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
going to find a college textbook on this.
And so you're going to get a lot of flack, Tom. You're going to get a lot
Yeah,
of flack. You're going against the grain. You're not supposed to
yes, I
do
am.
that. You're not supposed to do that.
Yes, I am. I'm going against the grain. But
Yeah,
this is what invention takes. You can't
exactly.
run with the pack,
Challenging the status quo. You have to challenge. You have to challenge, and you
right?
can't give up. So what is making you persistent challenging?
Yeah.
What is it? I
Got,
know it's God given, and
yes,
once you're given a purpose, and you're given, because when you're given a purpose, you yourself as a human being on the earth may not know how am I going to do this? But once you're given the purpose, he's going to give you the tools and direct you. But the thing about it is you're going to come across a lot of challenges. And what makes you keep going?
yeah.
What
But
makes you keep going?
you answered it in the question in and of itself.
Yeah,
It's God.
I
God gave
know.
me this mission. Now, this is not being done by anybody else in the world, not that to my knowledge. And I
Yeah.
say that again because nobody has this technology. I'm the only one in the world with this technology. So God has entrusted this to me. It's a grave responsibility. And I take it very seriously. And I'm glad you
How are
see.
you holding on to that? I know he's giving you the strength. How?
Yeah,
How? How are you holding on to that against everything?
it's
Because the support
supernatural.
is not going to be there.
I
Yeah.
believe in God's help. What
Yeah.
I'm doing is never been done before. It will change our lifestyle. Scalar energy will change the course of history. It will change the world.
What's the sort of support, if any, that you have been getting? Because you're on my show, I would think that you may be doing this with other podcasters. I don't know, or if you personally selected me for
Yes.
a reason. But
Yes.
have you been going out there and sharing what you're doing in order to garner the support? What have you been
Yes.
doing?
Yes. With podcasters, exactly. It's a grassroots effort. So to answer the question, it's all grassroots. It's people, podcasters, just the general public, lay people. Why? Because they're interested
Yeah,
and they're honest and they're not corrupt
yeah,
and they want to make this a better world, as opposed to some institutions out
yeah,
there that are corrupt, that I refuse to work with.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. It must cost a lot to, to invest in this type of thing, to pursue this dream, to pursue this mission and purpose. How are you, I mean, without telling us all of your business, how are you funding that? How are you carrying on?
Barely. To answer your question, barely. Now, keep in mind, I'm not funded by any outside source, and I do not want to be funded by anybody. Now, keep in mind, if I want to keep this clean and without corruption, then I cannot work with corrupt entities. So, how does this evolve? Through people, good people, decent people, to avoid the corruption of
Yeah,
institutions. That's the key. You have to work through people. So we move forward, and the key to this is working with
you
with
have to keep on. Yeah.
yeah. The key is to work with people around the world, and that's what we're doing. Now, keep in mind, if I can work with anybody around the world by way of their photograph, I have a global audience. I could work with 7.9 billion people around the world. And it's always been my prediction, my forecast, that the people will carry this movement. It's a grassroots movement. And we will demonstrate to the world, to ourselves, that we, the people, can achieve this. This is our doing.
Yeah, yeah. I have your website up, as you may
Yes.
see. Are you seeing that? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'll explain. Now, in order to get this out there to the general public, the best way to introduce this new technology is to offer free sessions. As you can see at the top
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
there's a 15-day free trial. Anybody in the world can email us your photograph and include family members and include your pets if you have cats or dogs or horses. Anybody in the world can sign up, and we'll work with you by way of your photograph for free for 15 days, including your family members. But keep in mind that your photograph carries your energy signature. So you do not visit us. You simply send us your photograph. Now, Corine, even though we just met half an hour ago, help me to promote this throughout the Caribbean.
Yeah.
My work is not known throughout the Caribbean. I would like to eventually be able to treat everybody in the Caribbean for
Yeah.
free.
Well, they're seeing this. I could tell you that. And this is going to be going out. It's on my YouTube, my LinkedIn, my Facebook. They're going to be seeing it. They're going to be seeing it and have an interest. And I would encourage persons to take advantage. It's not going to hurt. What can it hurt? Your photo is already on Facebook and all the other things that you're posting your photos on. It's not costing you a cent. Is there anything that people should be scared of if they share their photo
No,
with you?
no, that's a good point. When you walk outside, you see the sun and the stars. It's beneficial. Well, that I'm using the identical energy, sunlight, starlight. So there's no drawback because I'm working with the energy of the universe. It's divine energy. I want to tell the audience that this is God's energy. It's from Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
light of God.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So why aren't more people jumping on board if that's the case? Well, I guess it's still a startup, and this is something that you're working on and building to get out there. So in time, as with everything else, because when light was created with the bulb, everybody was like, "What is that? It's evil." When flight happened, it was evil. Until now, everybody's on a plane. So it
Right.
takes time. It takes time.
It
It
does
takes
take
time.
time, and it
Yeah.
takes people like you to help me get the word out. I'm a
Yeah.
researcher. I'm not in the marketing field.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah.
promoter. So
Yeah.
those of
Yeah.
you who are listening to this podcast, consider what is being said. By way of your photograph, we have a proven track record that we can eradicate pathogens, that we can balance your brain waves in your 7 chakras. And
Yeah.
all you need to do is email us a photograph. You have no commitment on your part except to accept the healing.
Yeah. What are some of the, and as you mentioned, healing, that's a great way to kind of close off as well and to round up what we're saying. Before you mention somebody with herpes and things like that, but what are some other areas that persons have approached you, health issues that persons have approached you on So that
Sure.
even if persons in the Caribbean or anywhere in the world listening to this,
Right.
they may say, okay, he has helped this person, or this, but that may not be able to help me. Or
Okay.
they may have been living on medications all their life, or on medication now, and maybe a bit skeptical about it. What are some
Right.
of the areas that you have treated?
So we have a great success working with people around the world with any type of pathogenic disease,
Mm-hmm.
tuberculosis, HIV,
Mm-hmm.
candida,
Mm-hmm.
dengue fever,
Mm-hmm.
etc. We have
Mm-hmm.
a very good success rate also with people who just need to be calmed or a sense of tranquility
Yeah.
to if you will
Anxiety.
pervade. And that's what this energy does. It
Mm-hmm.
does balance the brain waves, which are scalar energy waves. So we have great success in producing a state of calm or tranquility. Many people say we can deepen their sleep state. We can improve
Oh.
their concentration with this energy. So
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
best thing is for people to go to the website scalarlight.com and
Mm-hmm.
experience the free trial. And
Here's,
then you can
uh-huh.
report on a first-hand basis, how do you feel? Prove it to
Mm.
yourself.
Mm-hmm. If persons are, like I mentioned, on medication, would that have an impact? I mean,
No,
after all the years of taking pharmaceuticals, would that have a positive or negative or
it,
neutral impact if they
it has
start
a
this sort of treatment?
it has a neutral impact because it's sunlight or starlight. Now, keep in mind, regardless of
True?
whether you're being treated with my instrument or
Yeah.
not, you're still being treated by the sun and the stars.
Mm-hmm.
And that sunlight and starlight, whether you realize it or not, whether you're on pharmaceutical products or not, you're still welcoming, you're still experiencing sunlight and starlight on a daily basis.
And with that too, here is another question. If that is the case, and we are always under sunlight and starlight,
Mhm.
I'm sure you know that this question is coming to you. Then why would we need why would we need to take on or look into what you're offering? Because
Right.
we are under the stars and the sun every day. And especially in the Caribbean, we are
Yes.
under the sun
Very much
every
so.
day.
No, you're right. Because my instrument performs specific functions, whereas sunlight and starlight is the light of God, but it's
Mhm.
not performing the specific functions, the specific performance of the sun and the star. So my instruments are specifics. They're calibrated to perform a work function.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm going to leave you. We have 1 more minute left with the final words to encourage persons as to why. Have you tried it on yourself? That's the
All the
first
time.
thing. You must be the
All the
first guinea
time.
pig.
I've been working with myself for 30 years now, all the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
works. I just performed a pathogenic cleanse this morning in my laboratory. My mouth
Okay.
is clean, my sinuses have cleared,
Yeah.
everything. I feel fresh because we can eradicate those microbes by way of this process.
And do you think what you're offering is something that can even assist with this whole COVID
Oh, easily.
pandemic,
Oh, easily.
whatever else?
My entire family and friends, I've had them on with the sessions during the
Mhm.
pandemic. Everybody gave me their photograph. Not one person went to the hospital.
Okay.
Everybody's healthy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to leave you with the final words to round us up in this
Okay.
episode. Why scalar light?
Yeah. What is scalar light? It's the light of God. It's the light of Jesus. It's going to help us. It's a new technology. Visit the website and send in your photographs if you're so inclined. We'll work with your entire family. It's free. Nothing. There's no drawback. Scalarlight.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom Paladino, for sharing your
Thank you, Corine.
groundbreaking research. I know, and when you're starting something new, people are always skeptical. I know I may be a bit hesitant. I'm going to be honest. I'm sure people you have met up have been like that too. And everything like this takes time. It takes time, and humans are the ones that are creatures that are resistant to change. It takes time. So I know you have the patience. If you have spent so many years investing in this and you still
Right.
believe that it can change the world and have an improved quality of life, then I wish you all the best in
Thank you.
realizing that purpose that is given to you. It is not my place to take that away from you. I can't. It is God given, as you say, and I I will support you in whatever way I can, like I'm doing here on my podcast, having you on my show. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge.
Yeah. Thank
All
you
the
for the
best to you.
invitation.